What's up, everybody? This is 10 Rules All back again today with another Battlefield 2042 video. In today's video, we will be discussing the company town hall meeting over at Electronic Arts, and more specifically, what they believe has caused the poor launch of Battlefield 2042. In the background, you will see some of my first ever Halo Infinite gameplay. I am not a Halo player. The last Halo game I ever actually played was Halo Reach, and I only ever spent a couple of hours playing Halo Reach. I liked it. I was never good at it, and in the background, you'll see I'm not very good at Halo Infinite either. But I thought it was appropriate for today's topic. So Laura Mealy, EA's Chief Studios Officer, led the discussion at the town hall on Battlefield 2042, and she brought up a few things. Firstly, they acknowledged that Battlefield 2042 was a miss. She said, quote, "It's really important to acknowledge when we have misses. This is certainly the case with the Battlefield launch, which failed to meet the expectations of our players, and also clearly missed our own expectations." Now, she goes on to discuss the failures of Battlefield 2042 and the key factors that they believe caused these failures. The first point that she made, and this is one that I actually happen to agree with, is the antiquated Frostbite engine that Battlefield 2042 runs on. She said that it took over 18 months of development time to upgrade the Frostbite engine to be used in Battlefield 2042. It was new tech, new engine. It was so old that they had to go back and update it. It was basically putting the game on a new engine, according to her. This makes sense to me. The Frostbite is not so great in the year 2022. They're reportedly making a new Mass Effect game, and it was originally going to be using the Frostbite engine, but after the debacle that was Mass Effect Andromeda, EA has changed course, and I believe they're looking for a new engine for the new Mass Effect game. They absolutely should have done that for Battlefield 2042, but they did not. They chose instead to throw some duct tape on the old Frostbite engine and cross their fingers and hope that it would get them to the finish line. The second major bullet point that Mealy brought up that contributed to the failure of Battlefield 2042's launch is the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, stop me if you've heard this before, but they said that working from home and having to deal with the pandemic changed things, and when you add that to the issues they had with the Frostbite engine, it presented some new variables in development that they were not expecting and that they never had to deal with before. Now, I'm not a fan of this excuse. Not sure if you've heard of COVID-19. Very few people on this planet have not had to deal with COVID-19 in one way or another. Life has gone on, business has continued across all industries, people have adjusted, and so my question is, why then couldn't EA? It reminds me of the NFL. I'm a big football fan, and there were some teams that used COVID-19 as an excuse for poor play, for poor product on the football field. There were other teams that went out and played very well and went far, and those teams don't make excuses. Every single team in the NFL or in any professional sports league had to deal with COVID-19. Just like every single video game developer had to deal with COVID-19. Myself, I don't have a job nearly as complicated as video game development or software production. My industry was still affected by COVID-19. I had to work from home for a certain period of time, and frankly, I feel like I did better work working from home. Didn't have to drive to work, didn't have to drive home, didn't have to deal with traffic. There's less stress, less cost with having to drive to work. The coffee is better at home. I feel like I did better work at home. Now, of course, like I said, I don't work in the video game industry. It is apples and oranges, but I digress. COVID-19 is something we all have to live with now, and you have to adjust. And I don't understand why a company as powerful as EA, as wealthy as EA, was unable to adjust. This sounds like excuses, just something that everyone has in their back pocket. Oh, COVID-19. The final main point, and this is the one that has been the most controversial and frankly the funniest to me. It is the reason for the thumbnail to this video, which I think is awesome. Shouts out to Targaryen for the amazing thumbnail. It is the reason why you're watching Halo gameplay in the background instead of Battlefield 2042. Mealy puts part of the blame on Halo Infinite's multiplayer release being pushed back to within a few days of Battlefield 2042's launch. She said that Battlefield 2042's bug count ratio got to, quote, historic levels for a DICE game, end quote. Now, historic levels? Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 5? Do we remember how those games launched? and Battlefield 2042's bug count ratio was historic. So, with that in mind, Halo Infinite launches at around the same time. Halo Infinite is polished, it is fun, it's free, and frankly, DICE, EA didn't stand a chance. But that doesn't mean that's a viable excuse for why Battlefield 2042 sucks. You can't use competition as a reason why you failed. Competition is a good thing. Halo beat your ass. I don't like Halo. I'm terrible at it. I don't like the time to kill. I don't like all the bouncing around like we're bunnies on pogo sticks. But it is still a cleaner game, more streamlined, more fun, and I don't even like it. And it's more fun than Battlefield 24. I'm willing to admit that. I am a big-time Battlefield fan. I have been a fan of the series since Bad Company, and I can admit Halo Infinite is better right now. And it's not even hard to admit it. But that is asinine to blame competition and to say, oh, well, you know, the Battlefield's launch was a failure because of another video game. Get the fuck out of here with that. I was hoping that that line was taken out of context, and after reading Tom Henderson's article on xfire.com, link will be in the description if you choose to read it yourself, it's not taken out of context. It says in the article, according to Mealy, the comparison between both games was not favorable because Halo Infinite was a very polished title, whereas Battlefield 2042 contained bugs and wasn't as polished. It doesn't make sense. It's like you've got a beautiful woman and you've got an ugly woman, and the ugly woman blames the beautiful woman for her being ugly because she's standing next to her. All it does is it highlights the differences, makes them easier to see, a good video game versus a bad one. The deficiencies of Battlefield 2042 would still be there, you fucking idiots. So anyway, that's about the gist of the article. I think there are some good things to take away from this, as well as the bad things. I've already touched on the bad things. The silver lining to all of this is that it definitely has been confirmed. EA knows Battlefield is garbage. They see it. They're not oblivious to it. They're working on it. I feel like they've got some decent leadership in place who have the means to fix it. They've proven they can fix it in previous games, and they're hopefully going to do it again. Battlefield 2042 in February is a much improved game compared to Battlefield 2042 in November. But the excuses, Halo Infinite, you're gonna blame your I'm done. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I really would love to know what you think on this one. Do you prefer Halo or Battlefield? Is there any logic to the argument that Halo contributed to the poor release state of Battlefield 2042? Make sure you're subscribed to my channel for more content. Hit that thumbs up button for me. I greatly appreciate it. I'm out. I thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.